Welcome to On the Fence, the show that's about helping you decide whether or not to spend your hard-earned money on the biggest and possibly best releases. Nick.
Hans. Jesus, Hans. Be professional.
I don't know why my throat's kind of raspy all of a sudden.
Get on, I have to come fucking record. Shut it down. I was going to push the mic away, but I don't want to risk like knocking it over.
You know what? I hate you.
Why?
Because fucking deal with your shit for 20 odd years. This is not even doing on offense. Let's just like let's just have a really one-to-one right now.
No.
Next, we are looking at Persona 5 Strikers. It's a sequel to Persona 5.
Got the plan down,
Nick,
Pat?
let's talk about it.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to talk about? Yes, it's generally what On the Fence is.
So, Nick, Persona 5 Strikers
Yes.
is a game.
Yes.
It's set in the Persona 5 universe.
Yes. These are all facts.
Do you strike people in it?
Yes.
Right, the title makes sense. I'm with you 100%. Nick, tell me a little bit about Persona 5 Strikers.
So, Persona 5 Strikers is...
What the fuck is that?
It's a shadow of helicopter. Persona 5 Strikers is the follow-up to Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. And it is a Musou game.
Excuse you?
A Musou game.
Nick, what is a Musou game?
Dynasty Warriors.
Okay.
It's just the proper name for a Dynasty Warriors style game. And yeah, it is one of those to, like, if you want to really boil it down, it is kind of just one of those. But I think they've done a very good job with incorporating a lot of the Persona elements into this. And it is incredibly enjoyable to play. Which I think is something that a lot of the Dynasty Warrior games don't really get right, in that it does just kind of feel like you're mashing buttons. Mm-hmm. They've done a really good job to incorporate a lot of the Persona elements into this.
Like Personas themselves.
Yeah, obviously. Shocking that.
Good timing as we see Pixie, Jack-o'-lantern, Pyrojack, and other shadows.
Oh.
I guess this is early on because it's throwing tutorials at you.
That wasn't a story, that was me unlocking ability.
That is a lot of things on the screen.
Yep.
So like this combat, this ain't Persona.
Correct.
That's
kind of what I meant when I said this was a Dynasty Warriors game.
So
that there wouldn't be turn-based combat, funnily enough.
So what is going on right now? You're
like in terms of the gameplay or in terms of the story? So you, in typical Dynasty Warriors fashion, there is just a whole boatload of enemies.
Yes, you can tell them from the fucking mini-map, which is predominantly red.
Oh god. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I got wrecked there.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. I'm very. This is still pretty early on, so I haven't actually got like a lot of the...
Do you want me to start over?
No, that's fine.
That was embarrassing for you.
Your life is embarrassing, so... This is still pretty early on, so I haven't actually like unlocked a lot of the upgrades, which kind of make life a lot easier. So... in terms of the gameplay, you have kind of two main attacks, or two main aspects. You have your standard quick attacks, and then you can you have like a combo finisher on your triangle button. And, Jesus Christ. Hold on, right. What the fuck are these guys weak to? And then, yeah, so in typical Persona fashion, you can summon your Persona who has a whole boatload of abilities, and this incorporates some of like stuff like, oh, there are weaknesses and stuff. So like, oh, we know... you can kind of see as it pop-ups there. Oh, Jack-o'-lantern is weak to frost and wind. Pixie over here is weak to gun and frost and death. And like a lot of those standard Persona trappings are in there.
So how are you flicking between?
So yeah, I can just flick between like with left and right, and like this, like what I'm doing now essentially just freezes time.
So whenever you bring up your Persona menu,
yeah,
you can see your area effects with that highlighted cone. Yeah.
And then we'll get into it later on once this kind of opens up again from this kind of scripted bit. But yeah, the other thing you can do in this is you can totally like... what? Why did it not let me jump up there?
It's okay, like you collected a cute wallet.
Yes. So the other side of it is then you kind of dash around the battlefield. You can like jump up on lampposts and other kind of things around, and then that'll unlock like a phantom dash ability, I believe they're called, which kind of lets you just do a big AoE or something. So it could be the case of, oh, you jump on a car and blow it up, or you spin around the lantern like that.
There was something else that had a mechanic like that where like
Kingdom Hearts has something quite
that was
similar.
it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Like the reaction commands.
Your request is to draw the enemy's attention. Are you supposed to kill people until...
Yeah, it's just a time thing.
I can see by the fact that it looks like the minimap has chicken pox. Calm the fuck down.
I thought I could jump onto this bus, but apparently not.
So this is obviously seems to be is this the typical level of combat you would have, or
So the way the game is actually split up is you similar to the original game. Oh god, hold on. Yeah. So this is this is still fairly early on because like I am still getting tutorials for a lot of things. See what's up. Do I have any SP items? I don't. That's fine. Jesus. Oh god. Yeah.
you need to move?
I can't. I'm trying, but I can't. So yeah, like, man, I did not get this fucked up the last time I did this.
Can't jump or
No. There we go. Okay.
So is the combat challenging? Like,
Honestly, yes. Actually, I do think it is. I think it is very easy. Yeah, it's very easy to get overwhelmed very quickly. So I'll jump out of this because I didn't think I'd get fucked up that badly. To be honest, I'll go to one of the later saves I have. But yeah, honestly, yes, I actually do think this game is fairly challenging. In terms of, it's just very easy to get overwhelmed, and it's not as fluid in terms of the party dynamics as something like Persona 5 was, because you can't like swap your party members you have with you in the middle of battle. It has to be like when you're outside of a battle, which obviously kind of stops you if you happen to bring the wrong people into a battle. It kind of fucks you up because it just may make either the battle last a lot longer or you'll just not be able to kind of do anything. So yeah, as you can see in this bit, I have like my whole party with me, and if I get the chance, I will do a follow-up attack with one. Let's. Do I have any? I don't have any gun abilities, but sure, let's just fire my gun. Yeah, it has all the, so like you have, if you get an enemy down, you have like the all-out attack stuff.
yeah.
You have the tactical attack stuff that was introduced in Royal in terms of like, oh, if someone's frozen, you hit them with a certain type of attack, they'll do like more damage. And then if you meet certain requirements, like say hit strike someone's weakness, it'll give you the opportunity to like hot swap to like one of your allies, and then they'll do something else.
Mm-hmm. So you can control your allies, they're not just there as support, yeah.
Yeah, and you can swap them at any time, but like if you do like the like hot swaps like that, you get a free cast essentially, and it means you're like they're going to do a free ability compared to it costing like SP or something.
So it's like almost feels like every encounter is like it feels like a big thing, like because like Joker went down there.
Yep.
So like it's like every encounter is like, yeah, like you're either gonna hit or you're gonna miss. Like there's no
like, it's like I don't want to like, it is very easy to say in something like Persona 2, especially like Persona 5, like when you know how to like manipulate and abuse the like weakness stuff,
yeah.
It is very easy to like get through that game very easily. Oh god, that's not me. But in this, yeah, I do feel like it is kind of easy to get quickly overwhelmed.
So story-wise, then tell us a bit about the story.
So Joker returns to Chujin after like for his summer break, after leaving the party at the end of the base game, and essentially they find out they can get back into the metaverse. That bit hasn't been fully explained yet. And that there are monarchs within the metaverse that have been stealing people's desires, totally different from stealing hearts, and essentially just gives them the ability to like manipulate people into doing it. So like the first monarch was like a pop idol who was essentially stealing people's desire so that they would like bankrupt themselves and do anything to like get her merchandise and her seals and things like that.
Okay.
And then this guy is the one I meant a minute. His Jill, as they call them, is like it's based on the books he's or like the book he is writing or he's written, where like essentially the book is actually terrible, but no one seems to really obviously when they realize how terrible it is, that's when they're like, oh, this guy seems like he's definitely like a monarch and doing some shady shit.
But so they're actually shadows or more that have come from the metaverse. It's not like they're being controlled.
No, like it is people, and then they have like similar to before. They have shadows within the metaverse,
right? Okay,
that are like controlling these Jills.
So it's kind of the overall story then is how the metaverse has kind of come back.
Yeah, how it's come back, and like the idea of like how are these specific people like manipulating it.
Yeah.
As ever, like there is the typical like this game is stylish as fuck. Like if I just like look through some of the menus, they are incredibly stylish in the way to like jump between things and do all this jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You have like a lot of the same Persona, like so instead of social links, which is obviously one of the biggest bits of Persona, you have this bond level which kind of just gradually goes up as you do things and like chat to your companions in like your free time sections and just kind of goes up with the story. And then instead of like you getting direct social links, like, oh, I've got a social link with Makoto, so I get this ability, you're kind of given the points from your bond to spend on like kind of whatever ability you feel like would see fit. So whether it be like, oh, you get extra health back if you actually do an ambush, you just get some health and SP back at the end of every battle, things like that, or just like kind of stat bonuses.
Then they actually, sorry, I just noticed, they actually level up then? So like there was level 1,
yeah,
level
so you can
2.
you can level them up with more points.
What's this?
This in general?
No, like sorry, I was going to say something that I got. What's happening? Jesus
Yeah,
Christ!
so you have like each character like kind of builds up that gauge beside their health bars there. It's like and lets you unlock do like a Showtime attack, which is just like a big AoE.
Yeah, if you can go back to your menu there for a second. No, okay, that's fine.
I couldn't stop myself.
So if you go to your team, is there a team view? So there's a bit of space at the bottom there.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get more party members?
Based on the opening cutscene, I do think there will be one more party member. Yeah, like the actually intro cutscene to the whole game. I think there will be another party member that gets added in.
Without going into spoiler territory, is an existing character or possibly a new
one?
one?
No, it's a new character.
Right, okay.
So Sophia is and I think this new person is the only like new person in the game.
The one that is dressed like sperm.
Yeah, so she is your AI she's an AI program in your phone. And yeah, so that's kind of the gist of her story so far.
Is that like so? Probably phones were a big thing in the original, because you got into people's hearts via the app.
Yeah.
The Phantom Thieves app. Is she like just like they're like, let's just make the app a person? Is that kind of what they went with that? Or is she literally just on your phone?
You find her in the metaverse, and it hasn't really been figured out how she is on your phone. She has said she is an AI, and then she turns out like you find her in the metaverse first before you actually find her in like before she goes onto your phone.
Yeah. So obviously dungeons and people's hearts and stuff were a massive thing in the previous one. They're all kind of themed. What have the dungeons and stuff in this been like? Obviously, because there's a bit of a difference between one and this one. They need more space because obviously of the type of fights. But how have they been quality wise and just overall?
So the couple I've seen, so the first one is set in Shibuya, obviously where like Persona 5 itself takes place, and it's very cool. Like it's kind of Alice in Wonderland-esque because like the pop idol is very heavily inspired by Alice in Wonderland, and then they're much bigger because the conceit is they are actually taking over the whole city with like that's how like widespread their like effect is.
Yeah.
And then that plays into you are like traversing across all of Japan essentially, like in your quest to find the monarchs
On your road trip!
essentially. Yeah,
Yeah, so because this is a very much a medieval style to it.
yeah, this is just Bloodborne really, and so like that fits in line with the guy's book, with like the monarch's book that he is writing in the real world, and it's like theme and what it is about. and it's just all the characters getting progressively more annoyed by how many like bog standard anime tropes that are in the book.
Chosen heroes. Whoa! Where'd she come from?
In front of you. She literally walked towards you.
Another one of the fearsome four.
That is correct.
How many of the fearsome four have you faced so far?
This is the second one.
Alright, okay.
Fearsome four. You may call me.
So there is a bit of, like,
If it's proof,
we haven't seen it yet,
you'll have
but there is
me.
stuff outside of the
Yeah.
metaverse.
Yeah, so once I do this boss fight, I'll hop outside to the actual like real world and show that stuff.
Who was that again? That jerk we clobbered earlier. The first of these fearsome four creeps.
I'll let you in on a little secret.
Oh, it's gonna a secret, Nick.
Oh
That's not a secret.
no.
My power far exceeds his. Your doom is nigh.
Right. Sorry, we kinda already knew that.
Well, looks like we'll just have to fight her.
I like the idea that Joker keeps playing into this, like playing into being the anime protagonist.
Take it they have no, like,
No, very like there's obviously with like this like the fact there's like no social link or anything. I've yet to see like a real usage for the like choices, but you do get like some like unique lines of dialogue depending on the ones you pick.
so actually just thinking about this now, so personas and stuff like that, you obviously confuse them and all that.
Yeah, that stuff is in here.
Yeah. But the other ones where you could like
There we go.
you could
I
like
was trying to find the right persona.
you could hold them like gunpoint and all, and then
Yeah.
like, so how does that translate
So it's
across?
just the different people you find will just drop like the different personas you kill will just drop like a mask that you can pick up, and if the so that'll fill in. I'll show you once we get out from the Velvet Room. Like, that stuff plays into. So if you find like the same persona, you'll amass PP. I assume is persona points, but they actually really haven't confirmed or denied that.
It could be earned, we don't know.
So they have that, and then essentially you can use the PP to just like boost your current personas, like it just give them flat levels.
So if like, say for example, you got Auntie here, right, and then you went and fused her, would you have to, is there a way to come back and say like, collect her again if after you fused her?
Well, these are bosses, so you can't get the bosses, but yeah,
Right.
like, yeah, so essentially you can. Oh god. I don't like playing as Haru, she's too slow.
I mean, she's wielding a big fuck off axe, what are you expecting?
That is true, oh god. Yeah.
Like, down as in knockdown, calm down, Harry. Wait, what? Oh, she slapped the status element out of you.
Yep, pretty much. And yeah, like this game does just ooze style again, and seeing it all and like taken out in like really good fucking 60 frames a second looks fantastic. High definition, man, it just looks fucking phenomenal.
Well, I mean, like, the thing also, there's always kind of the thing with, like, turn-based... Sorry. It just, Take Your Heart made me laugh, I don't know why. Because it's got nothing to do with hearts anymore. I'm
Yeah.
just like, come on guys, make up a new logo. New slogan.
Hey man, they are still the Phantom Thieves of Heart.
But they're dealing, like, but now they're dealing with desire now. I've completely lost my train of thought, I was going to say. Oh yeah, so like the thing kind of is like a turn-based like combat is a certain amount of like the fight is in your head
Yeah.
because obviously it's turn-based. It's kind of now been translated onto the screen as well
Yeah.
now, which is quite cool. Have you fought the penis monster yet?
No. He's quite a high level persona in the actual game.
So like, is all the equipment and stuff all still there?
Yep. So yeah, every character still has like equipment in terms of like they have a weapon, a armor, and accessories.
Do not the armor, but do the weapons change?
Yep.
as you- Yeah.
Well done,
Love that.
chosen heroes. I admit
you don't give a shit about her admitting defeat. You're like, no, gotta go, gotta move. Do you like the dungeons and stuff? Like, because obviously in the previous one you had so much time to kind of get to the end of the dungeon.
There is no time limit in this game at all.
Do you kind of like jump in and out of a certain dungeon?
Yeah, so I'll show you when we'll get through this cutscene. I'll jump back out. One of my pet peeves in the game is like they seem to have designed it in such a way that they would expect the time to be moving, and like obviously that's a big thing in the original Persona games, just in general. That like you're constantly on like a time limit and a deadline. They do set a deadline in this, but you have no control over how like any of the time proceeds. You're completely, the game proceeds time for you. It's never like, oh, I'll go to sleep for the day and go to the next day. It's like one of the things they've done is you can jump out of the dungeon anytime and go back to the real world to like buy items, and when you leave and come back in, it tops up your health and your SP.
Yeah.
And it just feels like, it does feel like at a point this was designed like to say, oh, like time will move at certain points and like you'll have to like manage your time. It just doesn't feel like that is actually properly. And then at a point that was potentially stripped out and they've kept like the stuff. So like it makes no sense that why you would need to go back in and out to like, I did not make that jump properly. Makes no sense why you need to go back in and out to top up your health if like there's no downside to it. It's just in case I now need to sit through 2 loading screens for next to no reason. So yeah, I can go into this anytime. I can go to the Velvet Room, and this is standard Velvet Room affair. You can log.
Oh, Igor's still gone.
Yes. I wonder if he's not coming back. Maybe they just didn't get his voice actor back for this game.
Or else they're just like, fuck it, we don't want them anymore.
So you can view all the personas you summon. They've completely stripped out like the tarot card aspect of it because there's no social links anymore. Instead, I wonder if I can see it here actually. I'll probably not be able to see it here. I can show it out in the menu. Each persona has like a element associated with it, and then when you do certain combo finishers, it'll use that spell for free of charge and not have to use your SP or anything. Still got all the fusion stuff.
Yeah.
But it more just gives you a flat list of here's what you can fuse and here's the stuff you need for it. It's not like, alright, select this one and this one. But you still can choose abilities to like inherit and things like that. He's seen better days.
Kill me. I'm an abomination.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is all like pretty much standard Persona affair. And then as I mentioned before, this is like the kind of the PP stuff where you'd say I have just under 7,000 PP, and then I can use that to like say if I haven't been using a Persona as much as the others, I can like bring them back up to speed with my PP.
But do the put up the speed with your PP.
Yeah.
But do your personas actually level up as you fight?
Yeah. So like the persona you're using will get experience, and any duplicate mass you collect will give you PP and experience for that persona you currently have.
Right, okay.
And then with your PP you can level any persona up to like your current actual level. Your like what level Ren is at, or your main character. I've named them Ren because that's the canon name.
Okay. Right, okay.
And then yeah, so if I jump out of here, I can show you off the actual like real world stuff.
Luck be on your side.
So return.
Alrighty, then we're heading back.
So yeah, this is the real world side of the game. It's pretty bog standard. It is just, so the first section of the game I was in Tokyo and Shibuya and kind of running around there. Now in Sendai, and this gives me the chance to like go buy stuff at shops. I can cook in the camper van to make extra stuff. I just kind of just stock up on equipment, and then as I mentioned before, anytime I go back into the dungeon now, my health and my SP will be topped up on all the characters.
Was it not the previous game where like everyone that wasn't like important was a ghost? Or like a ghostly figure, no? Like a silhouette?
Yeah, there was aspects of that. No, that was in Tokyo Mirage Session.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember them being a thing where like people were just kind of like...
Yeah, that was one of the things Tokyo Mirage Session did, where like everyone was like a multicolor, like a silhouette of people.
Whereas like this one, obviously they've made them very plain, but they don't have faces, which is quite cool. But it's a very stylish way to be like, yeah, fuck these guys, they're not important.
There's not much to do. Like I will say, there's not much to. It's not like say Persona 5 where you had all the like side activities you could do like outside it, like increase your social links, because obviously they've stripped all that stuff out. The main thing to just do here is go around like collecting say ingredients or chatting to your party members, and like chatting to your party members and stuff will like give you chances to increase your bond level, but like nothing major. It's like I can go in here, I can go buy ingredients.
Is there any sort of indication of like, hey, it's now you have a chance you could like go and increase your link with Futaba?
No, it seems to be you can do it kind of once per area. Like you see, if I go back to work.
That's a lot of geisha girl. You see this? That's so much pink.
There's a festival going on.
Okay.
So yeah, if I go back to Yusuke here, you'll see like the 3 dots above his head are like grayed out rather than being pure white, and that means I've talked to him, and like it's going to be the same dialogue just repeated. It seems like that'll just happen once per area rather than anything like.
So is there no side quests or anything like that at all?
Not that I've seen, no. Like, I don't even, like, maybe unlock it later on. Like, I don't even have the ability to go back to Shibuya. Like, it seems like it's pretty linear in that regard. And this is just us. This is the camper van we all roll around in.
Let's get to work.
Just, what, 8 teens in a camper van. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. 7 in a cat, apologies.
What should we make?
I can cook.
I'll lend a hand.
Which, I really like the screen. I
Joker's
don't know. I
cafe,
really
yeah.
like the screen. It's just really silly.
Joker's Kitchen.
And then you can shop to kind of, this is where you buy your like this persists throughout the game, where rather than like individual shops in the different towns to buy stuff, you do it all through Sophia.
Which one?
Then all those shops and stuff that you saw like on that mini map.
They all just sell like health items and ingredients.
Alright, okay. Not actually equipment stuff?
No.
Okay.
Some of them sell accessories, but none of them sell anything like that important.
This is weird.
It's strange, but I also like. There's a pretty funny conceit in this, because you go around like when you're like, oh, okay, we need to, when they're getting geared up to go back into the metaverse for like one of the first times and like ready for a fight. Like, all right, we'll go to our usual spots. Like we'll go to Kamaki or we'll go to whatever the medical chick's name is. We'll go there, and it's like, oh shit, it's closed. And then they're like, all right, we'll go to I's place in the airsoft shop, and then it's closed. She's like, you know, I can just get you like instant delivery. And she's like, oh yeah, the internet's great, isn't it?
The internet is great, yes. So is there anything else Nick you want to show off?
No, not really.
Then we
Go wild!
shall cut ahead to Nick's final thoughts and opinions on Persona 5 Strikers. Nick, I have a question.
Hans, what is your question?
My question is, why are you so damn sexy?
That's not true. Don't lie to me.
Wow, okay. If I was on the fence about Persona 5 Strikers, what would you say to me?
I went into Persona 5 Strikers with probably lower expectations than probably should have, to be honest. I knew at its heart it was still going to be one of those like Dynasty Warrior style games, but I was honestly really surprised with how well they've incorporated a lot of the Persona elements into it. Like, it's still very much about like picking your shots and like ambushing shadows to get the advantage in the fights. Like, obviously it's much smaller scale at times to a typical Dynasty Warriors game, but the Persona trappings really do make the game where you have all this Persona stuff still, you have all the fusion stuff, the style is still absolutely there from a typical Persona game, and they've melded the two aspects that they've gone for really fucking well. At the end of the day, yes, it's still a Dynasty Warriors game, and your mileage may vary, but I do feel like it's a Dynasty Warriors game that, if you have reference and love for the Persona series, there's enough of that stuff there to get you into it, and like the fast-paced battles are a lot better and I think more enjoyable than a typical Dynasty Warriors game. And if you want one that's going to be like, oh, this is the first one I'll get into, Persona 5 Strikers is a really fucking good one. I think the combat is incredibly fun, and the Persona trappings on top of all that just make it a very, very well-rounded package, and it's really fun.
Okay, sweet. That is Persona 5 Strikers, currently available on the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and on PC, ranging from £50 to £55. It is a bit more expensive on PC. Thank you very much for joining me, Nick.
No problem.